شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of Hajj Memoirs, our new daily show journeying through the stories, reflections, and inspirations of the sacred pilgrimage, our beautiful Hajj. Now, over this next few days, we will be delving into the heart of Hajj, exploring different experiences, lessons, and memories that shape the lives of pilgrims, both from our local Hujaaj and from Hujaaj around the world. So we do understand that we were chatting to some inspirational guests earlier on. Auntie Najma, we spoke to a spiritual leader as well. We connected with Hujaaj out in Madina. So more Hujaaj we will be speaking to, and this one particularly, we're joined by a very special guest, a pilgrim who's experienced the beauty and blessings of Hajj for the first time. She has been on Umrah, but Hajj for the first time as we speak. She is, of course, immersed right now in the sacred rituals of the beautiful prayers in Makka Mukarramah on this incredible journey. So now let's hear from our guest Ayesha, her thoughts, her feelings and reflections as she navigates this life-changing experience. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show, Ayesha.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi for having me.
So we must apologize about the footage and the connection. She is giving us the opportunity to be connected live from Makka Mukarramah. She's in the Haram at the moment. So just to speak to her and see her on camera is like they say, hoendervlees, you get cold shivers. And that's how I feel right now, just chatting to her. But Ayesha Asmal, who is also a radiographer, she and her hubby is on Hajj. And mashallah, she also celebrated her birthday on this beautiful journey while being on Makka Mukarramah. But firstly, Ayesha, I'd like to ask you to maybe, go a little bit back and start where, let us know rather, where your Hajj journey really started. The day you made your intention, maybe the day that you registered with Sahuk, your accreditation process. We know that's quite a process, waiting and everything, receiving the news from Sahuk as well, that you were accredited. Take us through that journey, Ayesha.
Okay, so we actually put our names down back in 2015. I can't remember, it was either May or March. And I mean, at the time of us putting the names down, we were nowhere ready from, to be able to go onto on the journey. But we were told at the time that the waiting list was 5 to 8 years. And in 2020, actually, our name came out for the first time, but that was COVID, so Hajj didn't happen. So we actually had to wait for the whole pandemic to finish. And then we were accredited last year, but my little one was a bit too small to have left him behind. So we actually had then deferred it to this year. And so when we got accredited, this year, it wasn't really a surprise, but I mean, alhamdulillah, that feeling, I don't know, you can't really explain it. Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's like surreal for a long time. I mean, even when we started, when we knew we were going, we started telling people, but it was still, you didn't know how to, because I think we were still sort of processing the emotions, processing the feeling, processing exactly what happened. So it actually even took some time before we were even able to take it in and understand exactly what's happening to us before we could even share the news with others.
MashaAllah. And you had the news, you knew about it, so you had quite a long time to prepare for your Hajj. What was that mindset, knowing that you were accredited, you're going for Hajj, you have this period to think about the process, to pack, to plan, to buy the right things? Did you actually plan ahead of time, or did it happen on the last minute when you had your date?
Okay, so most importantly, what needed to be planned was leave from work.
Yes.
Making sure that you had enough days, to go for the period that you wanted to. You couldn't plan much until the packages from the agent came out. But in terms of shopping and buying, I mean, I was added into a lot of WhatsApp groups, Hajj and Umrah WhatsApp groups
Okay.
with the Hujaaj from last year, with giving advice in terms of what to get, what to do, what not to do, those kind of things. So some advices were helpful for me. Others, I thought I'm not really going to, that's not me. So I'm not really going to worry about that. But yeah, we didn't do a lot of shopping in advance as such, but we sort of did make a note of exactly what we wanted to get for the trip. For example, things like cooling towels when with the heat, there's definitely no way you can manage that without having those kind of things. Spray bottles, I mean, you go to the Haram, and if you want to spend a lot of time, you can't really move out. In Madina, it's a bit easier because your wudu facilities and bathroom facilities are within the Haram. In Makka, you have to go out of the Haram to get to it. So if you move from your place in a Makka Haram, you're not guaranteed that you'll be allowed back inside. So having that spray bottle to help do a quick pulse wudu, if you need to, those were the kind of essential things that I made sure that I brought along with me.
Okay.
And then obviously like towels and things, because you don't want to mess the carpet in the Haram and things like that. You'd rather, have those kind of things. So in terms of planning, I didn't go overboard with carrying this and that and everything else. Like bare essentials, things that were just needed, and that was it. Alhamdulillah. And shukra, I don't feel like I'm missing anything or that I have forgotten anything at all.
Awesome, alhamdulillah. Because often you do feel like it when you're traveling. It's like, oh, I could have brought that. I could have brought that. But I found going on Hajj was the lightest packing I did, literally. Took a few things. For you, Ayesha, you've been to Madina. I want to hear a little bit about that, greeting the Prophet ﷺ. You have been on Umrah. How different is it to do it when you're on Hajj, performing the pilgrimage, the journey of a lifetime? And now you find in Makkah, we are so awestruck to be talking to you from the Haram. You mentioned that is the new part of the Haram as well. Talk to us about the emotions you are experiencing since you started your when you finally arrived in Medina.
Wow, amazing. If I could just, look, yes, I have been for Umrah before, but it was so many years ago. I was younger. Probably didn't fully understand exactly where I am doing. So being older and a bit more, mature in understanding exactly where you are, what's, the benefits of the places that you are in. It's very different. Like, when you're older, you do get wiser, as the saying goes. The older you are, the wiser you become, because you learn every day of your life. You are learning. So as much as I have been here before, I feel like I know so much more now, and I can appreciate so much more now. And so, going to greet the Prophet ﷺ, okay, now it's not as easy as it was before, because now we've got to use the Nusuk app to get to the Rosa Mubarak. But I mean, you can go and stand outside or inside. I didn't go inside the doors. I used to go outside by the dome. I found that a bit more relaxed. Because inside, people are going to push and shove you, and you get irritated for no reason. I used to prefer to go outside by the dome and make my salam from there. But besides that, I went for my Nusuk app appointment, and they also allowed the agents to do a group appointment. So we managed to get 2 visits in the Roda. And again, that was very different. The group one was very rushed. We were a big group. But when I went for my personal appointment, I felt the group was a bit smaller, so I got to spend more time and appreciate more time in there. And alhamdulillah, I think they've also opened a lot more to the ladies in the Riyadh Jannah area compared to the talks that we received back home. In the Hajj talks, they said, what, it's like this, it's like that. But when I actually got there, I realized they actually opened a lot more for the ladies now.
Okay.
So alhamdulillah, that was nice, because we actually got, in the past, apparently you weren't very close to the qabrs of Rasulullah sallallahu, but now we actually got very close to them as well. So alhamdulillah, that was nice.
And then, of course, your arrival in Makka, looking at the Caba for the first time, and you are in Makka at the moment. They're quite early because you want to catch, a special time of the day today. Talk to us about your experience thus far in Makka.
Again, I've seen the Kaaba before, but another hair-raising. And every time you see the Kaaba and just thinking about it now with the interview, it's just, gives me the hair raises all over my body. You can see it how many times, but it's, I don't know, you just can't take it in enough. You make whatever dua you want to make, and you just hope that it's also taken as it being seen for the first time. You just pray and hope. Because, it's just, even now, I've, some days I go to the Haram so early, and I think I can get to the old section where I can actually see the Kaaba. But like today, as early as I had come, I still got pushed into the new section, and what I see in front of me is scaffolding.
Yeah.
I know just beyond there is the Kaaba, but I can't actually see it. But it's just because of the crowd and the volume of people. I think a lot of them actually come from Fajr and then don't move until the end of the day.
Yes.
Because you know that if they're going to move from that prime spot that they have found, they are not getting it. Actually, the first or the second day that I was in Makkah, I was just walking around the Haram, and I actually managed to find my way onto the Mataf. And it was actually the first day because I hadn't even unpacked my bag yet. So I didn't have my masala, I didn't have my wuzu bottle, I didn't have nothing with me. But I just remember messaging my husband to say, I found myself on the Mataf. I am on the Mataf. It's such a prime spot. I am not coming home now until after Isha.
Yeah.
And I just sat there because I thought to myself, I don't know how I got here. I got here. Let me just make the most of this position.
Yeah.
And I don't regret that because I didn't get there again. I've been here for a week and I haven't gotten there again.
I won't lie to you.
I'm so glad that I took that opportunity and I stayed there and I did what I did. And I read my Asr, I read my Maghrib, and I read my Isha on the Mataf.
Yes, salam. That is definitely is definitely guidance from Allah. Allah knew you wanted to be there.
Definitely.
Just you saying it when you started talking about just arriving on the Mataf, not even knowing how you got there. My body is getting like my hair raising moment here at the moment, because when you just talk about the Kaaba and when we were chatting to arrange this interview and you said I'm in the Haram now, or I'm helping someone now, and your heart pulls towards that Kaaba. You've said you've been on Umrah and it was many years ago and you came there. Your heart actually pulls when you're walking, and that's actually what happened. It's like a magnet. And scientifically, actually, there's some proof around the Kaaba being in the spot where there's a magnetic field on Earth. So we are just scientifically, spiritually, everything pulls us towards the Kaaba. So mashallah, it's a beautiful experience, and I want to talk more about it, but we quickly need to pay the bills. Ayesha, I'll chat to you just after this as we talk to our Hajji who is embarking on her first Hajj, mashallah, with her and her hubby. She's currently at the Haram, in the new section, and we're connecting with her from Makka to Mukarramah. Just more on Hajj Memoirs after this. Stay with us. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Hajj Memoirs. We're joined today by such a special guest who is a guest of Allah. Not just that, she's a special guest, yes, she's been invited by Allah this year, alhamdulillah, to perform a pilgrim, but she's also special because she helped us connect in the Haram. So we have her live in the Haram, this pilgrim Ayesha, who is experiencing the beauty and the blessings of Hajj for the first time. And we want to continue hearing Ayesha's thoughts, feelings and reflections as she navigates this life-changing journey. So Ayesha, just before the break, we were chatting about, packing minimal, Allah guiding you towards the Mataf, and we have the Mataf in our background, mashallah. And you've got, you're actually on the new section in the Haram. How are you finding the journey thus far? Physically, emotionally demanding. Last night when we were chatting, you were helping and assisting. I mean, how much does that happen as well during your journey, connecting with others? Are there any surprises or things you maybe didn't anticipate that maybe occurred? Which is one that you mentioned earlier about just Allah guiding you onto the mataf. Any other, connections that you've made with individuals?
So yeah, it's amazing. It's everybody from all different parts of the world. You meet in Haram all the time. It's just there is just something about the Ummah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and how friendly and caring and what's the word I'm looking for? Sharing. People will open like a pack of biscuits and sort of just pass it around for everybody to have one. Or they have a little mix and everybody's shared. So everybody wants to have a conversation with you. Where are you from? I'm from this country. Where are you from? In Madina, actually, I connected with a group of Indian Hajjis from India. And, it actually made me realize how spoiled we are in South Africa with ulama that continuously guide us with everything. We were spoiled for choice in terms of attending Hajj programs and listening to recordings and all of that. Because a lot of the things, they didn't actually get guidance. They were amazed at my little salam cards that I had, to use when you go to greet Rasulullah. So much so that they actually asked me if they could use it when they went, because they didn't know what to do. They weren't guided. And then you get people that will ask you, oh, but you don't know how to speak Arabic. How can you read the Quran in Arabic? We'd be like, no, but we go to madrasa and we are taught it and we learn it. And they're just amazed at all of those little things that we take for granted, So alhamdulillah, I've every time I've come to the Haram, I've always carried little snacks for myself, but I end up going back with half of them because everybody else around you is just feeding you.
Yeah.
And even that day, that was a story about the mataf, I didn't have anything with me.
Yeah.
But when I got home, I was so full. When I got back to the hotel, I was so full that I didn't want to eat because everybody around me just kept feeding me. Whatever they had, they just shared. So alhamdulillah, it's just something else to experience.
Yeah.
I've been here for Umrah. You get it a little bit in Umrah, but in Hajj, it's just like on another level.
Definitely, and the muassasas as well. Talk to us about the relationship with the muassasas. They're quite demanding in when they want you to move or when they tell you something, because you don't, of course, understand what they're saying, but they're adamant. Any experiences with the muassasas and how helpful moments or yeah.
Look, Google Translate is helping a lot.
Okay.
When you have a good internet connection, if you're really in a test. But look, they haven't been that bad, if you listen to what they say, they are not rough with you. It's when you see that when they are telling somebody to move or they're not allowed and they're trying to push themselves in, that's when they obviously get rough. Because obviously they're trying to say, listen, you are not allowed here, but you're trying to force yourself that way. The one day we got rerouted such a long way out of the Haram, where there was a more direct way, but we realized they're doing that because of crowd control. So one way in, one way out, and they're managing it that way. So yes, you end up walking more, but chances of knocking and bumping into somebody or getting trampled over or whatever is low then, because now you basically got one-way traffic, and that's what they're doing. So I find that quite helpful in a way that, that's how they are managing it in that way. But alhamdulillah, and come close to Salah times, and they say there's a lot of people, they let you end up reading on the walkway. But the moment your first salam is done, you need to get up and go. You can't sit and make dua and whatever. They've already given you that leeway to read your salah there. But at the end of the day, it's still a walkway, and a lot of people don't understand that. So, they still want to after the salam and make their dua after the farz or whatever. But you can't get there because, you can't do that at that point because the people are going to get up and start walking out. It was the same thing in Madina as well. But, but alhamdulillah, they're not as bad as people make them out to be. But like I said, if you listen to them, they understand that you are listening, and then they leave you.
How are you connecting with your
Ji.
family at home, Ayesha? I heard with some of the group leader I spoke to previously in an interview, he was telling me, of course, WhatsApp video and WhatsApp calls doesn't work there. You have to use other,
Ji.
I think it's IMO and Facebook, and I think some other place, some other apps that
So
does work.
almost
How?
everything besides WhatsApp works.
Oh, okay, okay.
Facebook works, Instagram works, Google Meet works. There's
Okay,
IMO, there's Bottom. But I found the Bottom connection quite bad, so I've been using Google Meet.
okay.
However, I haven't been calling home too much. I do have two little ones at home with my mom.
Hmm.
So what I said is I'm not going to call unless mom says call.
Okay.
Because the thing is, if I keep calling, I keep reminding them I'm not there. If mom can say, okay, you know what, they're missing or they need to talk to us or we just need to do a check-in or something, then she drops me a WhatsApp.
Okay.
And then from there, we plan and we arrange and we call them and we speak to them for 5-10 minutes and then we are done. So I think in the time I've been here, we probably called twice or thrice.
Oh, wow.
Nothing more.
Yeah. I also,
Yeah.
when I went for my Hajj, I had to leave my 1-year-old who I was still breastfeeding, and alhamdulillah, my milk dried up, when I was in Makka. But you, as much as you miss them, you actually feel that, you know what, they're good, they're okay. How are you coping with not seeing them, not being with them, as a mom of two little ones?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I mean, I know where they are. They are at home. They're with
Yeah.
mommy. They're with family. They are well taken care of.
Yes.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't call you here and not look after them as
Yeah.
well.
It's amazing
So
the
alhamdulillah, I'm
feeling.
okay.
Yeah, it's amazing
You,
that the
you do
feeling
think
that
about
Allah
them.
gives you to, like, let you do your ibadah in
Yes,
peace. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
At
Alhamdulillah.
ease. Gee, like I haven't like stressed or worried about them.
Mm.
I do message them now and again. I mean, on my birthday, I woke up to voice notes from them. But like you say, you get that ease and you get that comfort and you just know that they are okay and
Yeah.
that you can focus on what you need to focus on.
So,
There are a group of people that have been allowed to bring their kids. So now and again, when
oh,
you see those small kids, you think about your ones at home.
yeah.
But when you think about them, you make a dua for them. You are
Yes.
in a holy place.
Yeah.
What better place to think about them and make dua for them as well.
And the best act to do is to make dua. So, Ayesha, the big days of Hajj is coming. What have you planned? What is your ritual for Arafat? Any special arrangements you made for yourself? Are you planning to make any special deals with Allah that, I'm going to stop this habit if you allow me to do this? The days of Hajj is very close. I mean, it's here actually. But the day of Arafah, what are you planning to do?
So I attended a Hajj class in Johannesburg, and one of the advices or suggestions given by the person presenting the class was to have a dua book for the day of Arafat, because when you get there, there's just so much happening. Your mind doesn't focus. You think like, okay, I want to make this dua and I want to make that dua, and this person requested this dua and that dua, but you're not going to remember everything on the day. So I found that to be an amazing suggestion. And literally the next day I went and I got myself this book and I started writing in there. So besides the normal, the tasbeehs and all the surahs that we are supposed to read, as well on the day, inshallah. And then I'll have this dua book. And then whatever else comes to mind from my heart on the day at that moment is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, we have to wrap
Inshallah.
up, Ayesha. I hope that Allah grants you everything you need with afia, physically, emotionally, medically, being able to handle the heat in every way, because anything can happen with the fans or the aircon on that day or the shade. But quickly before you leave us, any message to our viewers or your family at home, as they're considering their Hajj journey in the future, any wise words you'd like to leave us with?
Don't wait until you are ready financially to put your name down on that list. Put it down and make the intention, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you find that way for you to make it when He is ready to accept you as His guest. And for everyone back home, just make dua that we are all safe, that we are all kept in good health, that we are able to make the most of the time that we are here, and that we don't go home with any regrets.
Ayesha, Jazakallah for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your first time Hajj experience with us today. And still experiencing your enthusiasm, your experience, the devotion is truly inspiring. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your Hajj and grant you ease, safe, healthy, spiritual, enriching journey. May you grow from this journey. We wish you a blessed and memorable rest of time in Makkah, and we look forward to maybe hearing from you. Maybe you can send us some pictures as well of your continued experience, inshallah. But shukran again for your time, Ayesha. All the best. And do please make dua for us there now that you are there on the mataf, at least there in the Haram. Inshallah, all the best to you and your hubby as well. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. That was Ayesha all the way from the new section of the Haram, joining us from Makkah to Mukarramah. Oh, so beautiful. Really inspiring interview. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more Hajj Memoirs. Keep watching our channel's Hajj special programs during these days of Hajj. May your life continue to be guided by the blessings and barakah of Hajj. Until then, wassalamu alaikum and goodbye.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك